Okay, so you know how sometimes your parents say they want to help you out, like really help you out,
Uh-huh.
and they're thinking about selling you their house,
Yeah.
maybe even below market value.
Oh, yeah, I hear that a lot.
It sounds amazing.
Like a dream come true.
Yeah, total dream come true, except did you ever think about what the IRS thinks about all this?
Right. The tax man always wants his cut.
Exactly. So that's what we're diving deep into today.
Love it.
The ins and outs, the traps, the strategies when your parents' generosity meets Uncle Sam.
Buckle up, folks. It's gonna be a wild ride.
And we've got like the ultimate guidebook here.
Oh, yeah.
We've got tax laws, real estate regulations, all this
Specific to this exact situation.
to help you make those smart money moves.
Yeah, you don't want to walk into this blindly.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So first things first, let's paint a picture.
All right, love it.
Your parents have this house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say it's on the market for like 500,000.
$500,000. Okay.
But they're like, you know what? We love you.
We're family.
We're going to give it to you for 400,000.
Sweet deal.
Sweet deal. But hold on.
There's a but?
There's always a but.
What does the IRS see when they see that 100,000 difference?
That's right.
They see a gift.
Big old gift.
And gifts come with their own set of rules.
Tax rules, to be exact.
So let's break it down.
Lay it on me.
When a property changes hands for less than it's really worth,
Less than fair market value.
bingo, the IRS considers that difference a gift.
Okay.
Now in 2025,
That's our year.
exactly, you get a little gift tax break, right?
Tell you more.
It's called the annual gift tax exclusion.
Catchy.
$19,000 per person.
Per person.
So both your parents combined,
That's 38,000.
boom, $38,000 they can gift you this year.
Tax-free.
No gift tax worries
That's the first chunk of that 100,000 difference.
right off the bat.
That's pretty good.
Not bad.
But we still have like, what, 62,000 left over?
That's where things get interesting.
They hit me with it.
That extra amount, that 62 grand, it starts eating into their lifetime gift and estate tax exemption.
Okay, wait a minute. Back up.
All right.
Lifetime gift and estate tax exemption.
It's a mouthful, right?
Kind of.
Basically, it's a big pool of money.
How big are we talking?
In 2025, it's a whopping $13.99 million per person.
13.99 million.
Okay,
That they can pass on tax-free.
to their heirs.
You got it.
Okay, so this 62,000 gift.
It chips away at that 13.99 million.
Gotcha.
So it's not like they're writing a check to the IRS right now,
No immediate pain.
but it's like using up some of that tax-free allowance.
Something to keep in mind.
Definitely. Especially if they plan on leaving a big inheritance.
Right. Makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, so is there like a loophole, a workaround?
Well, there's a strategy we found.
Okay.
It's called phased gifting.
Phased gifting.
Yeah, it's kind of like spreading the gift out over time.
Break it into smaller pieces.
Exactly. So instead of gifting you the whole 100,000 at once,
Right.
your parents could gift you 38,000 this year,
Stay under that limit.
and then the remaining 24,000 next year. Boom. No lifetime exemption used up.
Smart move, right?
Super smart. But there's got to be a catch.
You're catching on.
I remember reading something about how this affects me later.
When you eventually sell the house.
Yeah, something about the cost basis.
The cost basis.
What is that exactly?
It's basically the starting point for calculating your profit when you sell.
Okay.
And if you get the house as a gift,
Uh-huh.
you inherit your parents' original purchase price as your cost basis.
Okay, so let's say they bought the house like way back when for 200,000.
Back in the day.
And now it's worth 750,000.
Nice appreciation.
But because my cost basis is that original 200,000,
Uh-huh.
I'd be paying capital gains tax on a 550,000 profit.
Ouch. That's a lot of ouch.
Yeah, so even though you dodged that immediate gift tax,
Right.
it could come back to bite you later with a much bigger tax bill when you sell.
So maybe inheriting the property is a better option.
You're thinking like a tax strategist.
Huh.
The big difference between a gift and inheritance.
Is this magical thing called the step up in basis?
Step up in basis laid on me.
Basically, when you inherit a property, its value for tax purposes
Uh-huh.
gets reset to the market value at the time of inheritance.
So like in our example, if I inherit the house when it's worth 700,000,
So that becomes your new cost basis.
and if I sell it later for 720,000,
You only pay capital gains on that 20,000 profit.
not the $500,000 from my parents' original price.
Exactly. Inheritance can be a huge tax saver in the long run.
Makes sense. So if my parents aren't like desperate for cash right now,
And their main goal is to pass the property on to you.
then inheritance is the way to go.
Strategically speaking, absolutely.
Okay, but what if they do need to sell sooner.
Ah, good question.
But they still want to avoid those capital gains taxes.
Well, there's this thing called a 1031 exchange.
1031 exchange.
Sounds complicated, right?
Kind of like some secret tax code.
It's like a superpower for real estate investors.
Okay, tell me more.
Basically, they can sell one investment property.
Like a rental property?
Exactly. And then use the money to buy another similar property.
And poof, no capital gains tax.
Not quite poof.
But they get to defer it.
Yeah, they're basically kicking the can down the road.
So could my parents sell their house to me at a discount
Mm-hmm.
and then use that money to buy a different rental property?
And delay the capital gains tax.
Yeah.
There's a catch.
Oh, I knew it.
To qualify for a 1031 exchange,
Yeah.
the sale usually has to be at fair market value.
Oh, so no discounts.
It has to be like a legit arm's length transaction.
Oh, selling it to me below market value.
Could raise some red flags with the IRS.
Okay, but if they were going to sell it anyway,
On the open market.
then they could use a 1031 exchange to defer those taxes.
By reinvesting in another investment property.
And they have like a time limit, right?
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
How tight are we talking?
45 days to identify a new property
Wow,
and 180 days to close the deal.
that's
It's
fast.
a quick turnaround.
Okay, so no discounts for me if they want to use the 1031.
That's the gist of it.
All right, so another idea that popped into my head.
Shoot.
What if I buy the house from them and then just pay them rent?
Like a lifelong rent situation.
Yeah, that way they'd have a steady income.
It sounds nice in theory,
Right.
but legally speaking,
Yeah.
it can get really messy.
How so?
Without a formal lease agreement.
Like a real contract
You could end up with disagreements,
about money repairs, who knows what.
especially when family's involved.
Yeah, things can get awkward.
So what are some safer ways?
To make sure my parents are financially secure.
If they sell me the house at a discount,
Yeah,
well, one option is a trust.
a trust, okay.
They could put the money from the sale into a trust.
Even if it's a discounted price.
Yeah. And the trust would pay them an income.
During their lifetime,
And then eventually the assets in the trust
including the house.
would pass on to you.
Okay, that's pretty solid.
Another option is an annuity.
Annuities, I've heard of those.
They're basically contracts with insurance companies
That guarantee a certain income.
for a set period of time.
Or even for life.
Yeah, so your parents could use the money from the sale
To buy an annuity.
and have that guaranteed income stream.
Gotcha.
And then the last option
Hit me.
is to just buy the house at fair market value.
No discount.
Yeah. It might not be as appealing financially,
I get it.
but it gives your parents the most flexibility
To invest the money how they want.
and generate their own income.
Yeah, it's the cleanest option.
Less room for complications.
Okay, so trust annuities or fair market value.
Much safer than that informal rent deal.
It's crazy how complicated this whole thing is.
Yeah, there are so many layers.
Like if I tried to figure this out on my own,
I'd probably mess something up.
that's why getting professional help is so important.
Couldn't agree more.
Our sources are all saying the same thing.
Talk to the experts.
First off, a real estate attorney.
Disney.
Make sure the purchase agreement is solid.
And that everything's legal.
No shady business.
And then a financial planner.
Yeah, they're the ones who look at the big picture.
The long-term financial impact.
On both my parents and me.
Exactly. They'll make sure this whole thing makes sense.
Financially, for everyone involved,
And of course,
a tax advisor.
can't forget about taxes.
No way.
They'll navigate all those tricky rules.
Gift tax, capital gains tax.
Well, the fun stuff.
Yeah, they'll make sure we're doing everything by the book.
And potentially save us some money.
So let's recap.
Love a good recap.
We got a few options here.
Yeah.
Annual gifting,
To stay under those limits.
inheriting the property,
For that sweet step up in basis.
1031 exchange,
If it's an investment property.
and they sell at fair market value,
Important caveat.
and then trust annuities, or buying at fair market value.
To make sure our parents are taken care of.
Yeah, it all comes down to understanding what my parents really want,
Are they all about helping me out?
or do they need the cash?
Yeah, what are their goals?
And I got to be honest with myself, too.
About whether I can really afford this house.
Even with a discount.
Homeownership's expensive.
No kidding.
So, bottom line,
What's the takeaway?
talk to the experts.
Before you do anything,
A real estate attorney
a financial planner,
and a tax advisor.
they'll guide you through the maze.
And make sure everyone wins.
Wow, this has been eye-opening.
It's amazing how complex a simple family deal can get.
Seriously, thanks for breaking it all down.
Happy to help.
And for you listening out there,
Yeah.
it's awesome that you're thinking ahead
Planning for the future.
and taking care of your family.
That's what it's all about.
Now, as you weigh your options,
Mhm.
here's a final thought.
Buy for it.
Beyond the money and the taxes,
Yeah.
think about how these choices might affect your family relationships.
In the long run.
Will it bring you closer
or cause tension.
It's worth considering.
Absolutely.
So keep learning. Keep asking questions.
And talk to those experts.
They'll help you make the best decision for everyone.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, that's a wrap on this deep dive.
Until next time,
Stay curious.
and stay informed.